Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to review Season 6 season finale of Fear the Walking Dead. At least I think it's Season 6. I really don't know. I have never seen so much plot armor in my life since just Batman in general, whether it's Batman in the comic books, cartoon series, a movie, or whatever. I mean, there was so much plot armor that it's basically like Oprah Winfrey could be all like, you get a bunker, and you get a bunker. And hey, don't forget about you over there in the corner, because you get a bunker. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, things just randomly happen in this episode. And it's just like, for the convenience of plot. And it's just like, this is one of the reasons why I never ever like Fear the Walking Dead. They have the worst villains. They have some of the most boring characters. They have some of the most boring plots. And it's just like, I never really became a fan, tell you the truth, period. But I did like the first half of season 4. I actually kind of liked. See, that was the whole reboot of the series, and which brought in Morgan, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It made like Fear the Walking Dead people, and even people who watch the show who really don't like it, and it was good for the first half until after Nick died and we found out what happened to Madison, and then after Alicia ran off to try to kill Charlie and everything, or Chuck. Like, the show just sucked again, because the second half just completely sucked. And even though I wanted Chuck to like die because of what she did and stuff like that, I've kind of grown to like her a little, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But not by much. But it's kind of like she's a really boring character now. She's turned into the terror of like the show. So, yeah. However, like I said before, the plot armor in this season finale was just too over the top, where things just happen for the sake of happening. And it's just like, it would have been fine if it would have seemed a little bit more natural. Also, it was shot as kind of like an anthology series where we get to like spend time with certain people and see what they're doing. And it would just rewind at the point where like Morgan's speech, and then it goes like to the explosion and stuff. And I like anthology series. That was a cool format that they did for the finale. However, it's kind of like, it seemed kind of pointless, kind of like I would have loved to see them all together, you know, instead of them doing all their like separate ways. But whatever, you know. But it was shot in an anthology series from what happened in last week's episode leading up to the big boom. And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about what happened in last week's episode. So I've never really liked the show. Like, I would rather watch Freakish with all his like bad acting and then to watch like Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, what's so great about Freakish is that, like, even though it's in one location, it's a group of teenagers. It's like, and it's not that much zombie action, like they're there, but you don't really see them. It's the like interconnecting, like emotional bonds that the characters have with each other that makes the show like pretty cool and everything, their interaction. Or I'd rather watch Zomboat. Zomboat is just hilarious. It's the two group of strangers that meet and they just like fighting the zombie apocalypse. And it's just hilarious. Well, first the Alicia and God, what's that dude named? The crazy dude. Anyway, crazy dude. Their storyline was really cool, and I love that episode. So I was kind of disappointed that it didn't really like pick up that great afterwards. Now I forgot the crazy dude's name, but I don't really care because he really didn't show up that much in this season. That's kind of disappointing. Also, I didn't like how it was split, where it was kind of like all the Virginia stuff happened in the first season and in last season, and then the new goofy dude happened just on a couple of episodes, and it's just like, I don't know, like it just wasn't all that great. So after Alicia got the message out to Strand, he got out to Morgan and the other group. So all three groups are now going to converge on the submarine and try to take this dude out because he plans on firing a nuke. Because he wants to reshape the world. He wants to kill everybody and reshape, well, not necessarily the world. I guess you could say just that city and stuff. So he wants to, kill everybody there and then just reshape it in his image, because it's the cliche comic book villainish type thing where it's like you nuke the whole planet and then everybody is struggling and they're looking for supplies, and then all of a sudden you have stuff stashed away and money, so you kind of helping people out and then you become the ruler of the world. So it's kind of like that. Either that or he wants to repopulate, and ugh. So The three groups split up into two teams. There's Team A, which is the main cast, and there's Team B, the ones who are technically main stars of the show, but don't never do anything, like Sarah and Luciana, you know, people like that. Of course, Team B is just out on the sidelines where everybody else is in. So they're in the sub and they had the Geiger counter and they're trying to like see the radiation levels, and for now it's in intolerable like conditions so they can like move about. Morgan is doing his whole I have to save everybody crap, and so it's like him and Strand are constantly going back and forth. But Morgan feels like he's the only person who can save everybody because he feels it's his fault for getting everybody in that situation, which yes, it is, because they would have never even reached that area if it wasn't for him. With his whole, oh, we have to help every stranger out and get them bottles of water and food and all this crap. And so like then after that, they was on a plane and crash landed somewhere, and then they had to escape like a nuclear power plant or something like that went off, I believe. I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was something like that. And then, you know, so then they ended up there and then they met Virginia and her crazy behind. So it really is all his fault. But he needs to stop thinking he's like this sacrificial lamb that can just fight everything and everybody and can't die and all this other crap. So him and Strand, the main two who are going around the entire submarine because everybody else stayed back. And so they're, like I said before, they are constantly just like going at it. So the crazy dude, he's still brainwashing Dakota, and it's working. She now sees herself as a killer. She's totally okay with that. And she doesn't think she's a good person, and people should just accept her for being a killer. This character is strange, man. When we first met her, she was like as sweet can be. But then all of a sudden, they decide to have her turn into like this monstrous killer type person with no remorse. And it just like came out of nowhere. But I will say this about the actress. She is doing a phenomenal job because she started off as a singer. And, you know, most singers can't act. But she is doing an extremely good job. She's good at being a nice person, a mean person, emotional. She's doing a better job than most like celebrities that study acting and stuff. So with all the zombies on the submarine, you know, Strand and Morgan, they have to fight their way through all of them and stuff. Now, one thing I did like is there was some explanation as to how the crazy dude and his best friend, or his like number one in command, is gonna like, you know, nuke the whole place. Cause like, how do they even know how to work a submarine? And it turns out his right hand guy is a former soldier, Navy dude, and he worked on that sub and stuff. So, you know, that's how he's able to do it. However, the one thing that doesn't make no sense. Okay, now, I've never been in the military, none of that. But, you know, when it comes to like the two keys that, you know, Virginia, like once she had one and then he had another one, they gonna set off a nuke. Now, the entire crew, the submarine with 150 are dead. So I'm assuming him and his, that crazy dude friends all took him out. Like all those skilled soldiers were taken out by a group of like hippie people. Like, come on now, that's not believable. And not only that, but you know, it's the two-man rule system when setting off a nuke or like a big old missile. You have to have two keys and two people. The keys are locked up in like a safe, and there's like another key to get into that safe. And only two people are entrusted with these keys. It's the commanding officer and the XO. So it's like the captain and the commander. And they have to do it at the same time. Now, there is a third person, a weapons officer, who can do it in case the other ones are not able to do it. So it's kind of weird that like, how did Virginia even get one of the keys? And you know, and it's kind of like the dude who worked on the sub, they never really said his position on there. Not just anybody can work like the weapon system. It take a highly trained person, and you have to be like, you know, a tactical security type officer and stuff. So it's kind of like this dude know how to work everything on the sub. That doesn't make no sense. It don't work that way. So that's a little unbelievable. With the whole Morgan and Strand going back and forth, because, you know, Morgan's still doing the whole, oh, I have to save everybody, and Strand is kind of like, he read the note that Dakota gave him when she saved his life and all that crap, and he's all like, this is what Dakota meant. I have more to do, and I have to sacrifice myself. And talking about, you know, because I almost became a zombie, I know how to like get through them and all this other stuff. That does not work that way. I would have rather him say I can't die like he did in The Walking Dead. Seriously, when they brought him over to Fear the Walking Dead, they butchered his character to where he's not even cool no more. And so Strand's all like, no. And you think, so then Strand attacks him and then he throws him into a herd of like zombies. And then he breaks off his staff, or the axe part off the staff. And you think at first, okay, maybe Strand is going into like the weapons room where the nuke things at, to like sacrifice himself, because there's a lot of radiation behind that door. I forgot to mention. And so it's kind of like, okay, you think he was going to do that, but then you see him throw Morgan to a herd of zombies, and it's kind of just like, what the world is he doing? And then Dakota shows up. Now, okay, look, a submarine is not like a hallway. It's a very complex place. How was she able to find where Strand was at? And she's never been on a sub before. Now I know she was with the two dudes, so maybe she was hiding like in another room, possibly. So then Dakota shoots, what's his name, Strand, as Morgan like attacks. Morgan shows up and tosses her around, but he doesn't kill her. And so next thing you know, they're trying to get into like the room where to set off the silos and stuff. And so Morgan's all like, it's a good thing you probably like, oh no, something about destiny and throwing me into that herd and me getting all these key cards. In order to get into the room, you have to have a key card. And so I guess Strange, I said, oh, it was destiny or something like that. If I never threw you in there, you would never get him. But he told him to shut up. And so then he's trying to use every key card to get in there. And then of course it's the last one. Now, one, how would he know, one, to actually use the key card to get in there? Two, what are the chances that one zombie is going to have the actual key card to get in there? Because he went through at least 15 key cards and stuff. So even before they can get in there, the missile gets sent off or fired. And so like they get in there and they hold the guys hostage. They have a long talk, and then they just kind of realize nothing we can do now because the missile just like launched. And there's 10 warheads in that one missile. And they don't tell him where Alicia at, and they want to know where Alicia's at and stuff. So then, because Morgan knows he's defeated, he just lets both those guys walk away, and Dakota. He didn't even try to kill them. It's like, because they're not going to stop doing what they're doing. And so they don't make no sense. Then Morgan tells Strand that, you didn't do this to be a hero. You did this to make Alicia think you're a hero and you're the last survivor and stuff, because Strand's just being Strand. And he wants Alicia to like, thinking him as like this heroic person, because right now she's down to him. See, the thing about Strand, he's all for himself. But the thing is, when it comes to Maddie and Alicia, I think out of everybody he screwed, he really generally cares about both of them, because they actually know exactly the type of person he is, and they accept him for who he is, because they know they need him to survive and he needs them. And so, even though he has betrayed them multiple times, he keeps running right back. Each segment is divided in his own little cue card or a title card. Okay, so now the finale. Since this is an anthology type thing, I'm just going to go by each person and what they did, because it starts off from Morgan's speech of telling everybody to get out, and then the bit boom. And then so it's kind of like, it starts off with everybody doing their thing, and then it cuts to somebody else, and then towards the end, it shows the ending of that. So I'm just going to go by like, well, who did what, So Morgan is telling everybody to get out. So everybody decided, okay, crap, let's just like split. So everybody's going off in their own little direction, and instead of going in a group. And so it's kind of like, one, you think they will all go in a group. However, Team B, they told to flee like earlier. So they've been left in the last episode, but we didn't get to see it. And so Team A is trying to get out there on horseback. And so, first, so like it's the, what's his name? Dwight and Sherry. So it's kind of like they're just like trying to outrun, get out of town, but they realize they don't have a chance. So they see this house, and she's all like, hey, you just want to get some beer and pretzels and just like, spend the last couple of minutes together and stuff, because now all of a sudden she misses her husband and stuff after she betrayed her husband and went to that crazy group. So he's like, sure, why not? So they go into the abandoned place, and she's looking at some pictures, and she sees like a man and his wife. And so he finds some beer. They're talking outside. They kiss and have a romantic thing. oh wait, you know, the couple has not left. They're there. They're there with baseball bats and stuff. And of course, Dwight and his Sherry has like guns. And they tell them, "Are you with them people?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "Well, two of them people just came here and kicked us out of our little storm shelter." And so they're like, "Okay, we'll help you people out." So they decided, you know, if they help them, maybe they'll let them stay in their shelter. They tie a rope to the door, and you know, and the horse just goes off running, and it rips the door off. Note: the door gets ripped off. Out comes the two guys with assault rifles, and then but Sherry and Dwight, they ambush them from afar with regular handguns, and they're able to take these two men out with handguns, and these dudes has like machine guns and stuff. That don't make no sense. These dudes came out blazing, and they was able to get, and they were just hiding behind like bushes and crap. Not even a tree, just like little bushes or kind of like little debris and stuff. And so then it's like they take both of them out. And so then, you know, they go down into the little shelter thing. It's not a bunker, it's just a little storm shelter thing. I don't know if it's reinforced or not, but it's just like a little storm shelter thing that you see like on a little farmhouse, like old like country house and stuff. And so they put the door back on. But how? The door went with the horse, and the horse is gone. How did they get the door back? So the bomb goes off, and there's a lot of rumbling, and you know, and then that's all we see of them. Like that's literally just it. We don't know if they survived the rumbling or not. Now, when the bomb went off, they were far enough away, so they just got hit with the dust cloud. So we see Strand, and he's riding off, and he's in the city, and he sees this giant building, apartment type place. So he goes there, and so he's fighting off zombies with his shot arm, and also the other arm. But it's kind of like, dude, you've been shot. How are you able to fight with one arm? And sometimes he uses his other arm for an assist. Anyway, he's there, and he meets a guy. So then the bomb goes off, and then it like, you know, the vibrations, like they're far away in the city, so they don't get hit by the blast, but they're feeling the vibrations and part of the dust cloud and stuff like that. So it's shaking the building just a little bit, and you see like Strand, they like screaming and stuff like that, but then they survive. Then the Strand is giving like this huge monologue, a villain monologue, talking about how he's Victor Strand and how he's like, you know, has done everything he could to survive after all the bad stuff he did. People trust him. Like he said, he shouldn't even be alive right now, but he is after all the betrayals. And he's all like, how he's worked from like nothing and built his way up, and he is gonna like rise one day and all this other crap. I'm just like, dude is going full villain. He's probably gonna be the villain in next season, most likely, because of the way he's acting. His monologue was like perfect, but it's perfect in the I hate you kind of way, you know. And it's just like the dude only cares about himself, and he literally says that, you know. And so the dude looks at him with a bewildered look on his face. So it's kind of like, is this dude gonna like join him, or like is he gonna like later attack him, or like is he gonna be in the next season, or like? So then we meet up with Team B, and they're, you know, they're on the road, and they're driving as fast as they can. But they also have the one dude who's like, I think his name is Tommy, the crazy dude, his right hand man, because they grabbed him. Now, this is what I don't understand. Remember when I said Team B left before Team A did? If so, how did they find his right hand man? He left with them, and then the crazy dude in Dakota somehow got away. That makes no sense. They didn't say how they found him or anything. You think he would have went with the crazy dude in Dakota, but he doesn't. And somehow they found his behind, and it is never explained how. And so it's just bad writing on their part. So they're driving, you know, and then they see like a bunch of walkers in the road, they run over them, but then the dude who's driving, he's all like, oh, the air brakes must be on, something like that. And so Sarah, she fixes the brakes because I guess she knows how to do that. It's never explained how she knows how to do that, because when we first met her, she was just a truck driver and she was somebody making like moonshine and beer, and so, I don't know. But they finally mentioned her wheelchair brother, and she still don't know where he's at, and neither does the audience. And we don't know where them kids went either from the last season, so major plot hole there. Also, you know, they didn't know nothing about the nuke until Morgan said on the intercom, so it's kind of like, did they even have a walkie-talkie near them to hear that? So they probably got nuked or dust clouded or something, so we just don't. So anyway, Daniel tells them, you know, I heard these coordinates, and they're from a woman's voice I heard, but I can't remember who she is, and we should go there. And, you know, the dude in the truck like, can we even trust you after what happened last time? He's like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure I heard her voice. I'm pretty sure I'm not like making it up. And so then, and she fixes the brakes, and then the dude, he's like killing zombies, which this dude seemed cool. Daniel starts talking to Luciana in Spanish, and it goes by really fast. I had to read the subtitles, so I had to like keep rewinding and stuff. And he's all like, give me your gun. And she's like, why? And he's like, give me your gun. And he said something about, don't you want to kill the trader from Truck Town? I think it's, no, Trunk, what is it? Tank Town. Remember the fuel tanks, the Luciana episode where she was in it, but she still didn't really do nothing? And it's the one where Virginia lost her arm because June was being like a total boss and everything. So like, and so she gives him the gun, which by the way, them two barely know each other. So it's kind of like she trusts him that much to give like him her gun. And after what he did last time for going crazy in the head and like ambushing people in their town. And so she gives him the gun, and he just straight up plugs that dude in the head. And they're like, why'd you do that for? And he's like, because he's the traitor from blah, 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 blah. Because, and he knows that because of a phrase the dude said. The dude said something about the phoenix rising from the ashes. And I guess that's something the bad people say. And so he kills him. And they all believe it. They didn't like question him, interrogate him, nothing like that. But then I think he asked, Now I remember why they believed him, because the bad dude they asked him, was he one of your people? And they're like, yeah, we turned him after that little crazy incident that happened with you back at Morgan's place. And so it's kind of like, so he's been working on them the whole time and nobody knew because it was never written, and the dude barely shows up in the show. So I totally forgot who he was at, you know? And so like, so because of that one incident, he turned and decided to work with the bad guys. Like he really thought they was gonna like, you know, save him after the nuke went off, and as they eat their fertilized zombie food, it's just like that just wasn't handled very well, and it happened so quickly. And now the whole Daniel crazy thing, that was just weird in this whole season, because like, okay, first he was pretending, then we see him get like attacked and he's bleeding from the head. But then it turns out he's going crazy, but it's not from the head injury. It's because for the first time in his life, he doesn't have to worry. Because it's kind of like everything's peaceful and calm now. He doesn't have to worry no more. That is so weird. We saw him peace and calm when he had his little cat and stuff. So that's just weird character development writing. Like the writers here suck. And so then like, you know, they drive out to like the place, and before they get there, the bad guy dude tries to get away, and I think he tries to attack somebody. I can't really remember what, and then he gets shot because I think he was trying to attack somebody or trying to run away or something like that. And guess who shoots him? Charlie. And when she shoots him, she just looks like, oh my god, I can't believe what I did. Like she feels like so like terrible about it. She don't say nothing, just the look on her face. And it's all like, hey dude, this ain't the first person you killed. And dude, like it would have been nice if you would have like said something about like, you know, after you shot him, like, but no, you have to go by her like her expression. So they go out to like the coordinates, and it's nothing out there, just like a big open field. And so like Daniel's like, oh, maybe I was having one of my crazy episodes. But then all of a sudden a helicopter comes down, and it has the logo of the bad people that took Rick from World Beyond. So then the pilot has a walkie-talkie, and it's Al on the walkie-talkie, and she tells them like, like, sorry she couldn't come, but she got held up. Don't ask the pilot no questions, just get in. So now they finna go to the place where Rick is at, and we know them people are bad. Now, I know Al tried to get in contact with her girlfriend that was a pilot, but we don't ever see her interact with her, and we don't see Al walk off and like from the group. Now, maybe that happened in that Grace Dream episode. I tried to watch a little bit of it, but it was stupid, and I figured, what's the point? Because it's just a dream episode, so it doesn't count. So, but I skimmed it and I didn't see Al in it, so yeah, Al's not in the finale, and she's a main star, but yet she's not in the finale. Oh, do you see the little sign in the background that says stay? I swear, the writers and the showrunners and directors think they're so clever. Because of course they had to stay there for Athea's airplane buddy. So then the plane takes off and you see the explosion and you see like a little like dust and stuff like that. But before that happens, the black dude with the dreads that kind of likes Alicia a little bit, right before he leaves, he just has to start spray painting again. Dude, a bomb, a nuke is finna go off and you want to spray paint words on a dead dude. Like, this dude is useless in this show. He's only there to spray paint and paint stuff. And it's just like, get rid of him already. So now we get to Teddy and Dakota storyline. Which, yeah, Teddy is his name. I completely forgot. So they're driving and he's still brainwashing her. Pretty much his whole thing that when he tells people, well, actually what he tells her is that, like I told y'all before, he's gonna kill everybody, reshape the world, but he's gonna die along with his followers. And he tells her, how like in previous episodes that he has Alicia in a bunker because Alicia is like the future. He doesn't explain how or why. And we, the audience, have no idea what exactly he's talking about because they don't want to tell us. I guess they want to keep it a mystery until next season, but you already know they're just going to gloss over that. So, like, nobody knows exactly what the world he's talking about, but chances are he plans on, like, probably repopulating with her. So, anyway, him and Dakota, they go to, like, this little cliffside place, and they're talking, and then all of a sudden, here comes John Dory Sr. That was plot convenience. So anyway, he tracked them to that location. Don't know how exactly he tracked them because he just walks up on them. There's no car, there's no horses, nothing. So anyway, they're talking. And Dakota, of course, pulls out her gun because she's like Annie Oakley now and stuff. So, like, they're talking, and he tells Teddy that I'm not here for you. I'm here for the girl. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, crap. He said a killer. It's about time she got to get her comeuppance. Because, she killed his son. But no, he wants to talk to her. And then he tells her, I forgive you for killing my son. Now, okay. One, in the last couple of episodes we saw that John is very obsessed with Teddy. And he plans on stopping him doing what he was going to do, but of course he did it anyway. And he's been like, following his career like all his life and stuff because he knows Teddy is crazy. He's the one who put him away in jail and stuff. And it's kind of like, okay, dude, you've been like hounding this dude for like decades, and now all of a sudden you give up on him because the world's gonna come to the end. But then instead of getting revenge for your son, instead you want to talk to Dakota and tell her you forgive her. Whatever. So then like Teddy pulls out a gun and he's finna shoot John, but then all of a sudden you hear like a bang, and you see the gun like deflect out of Teddy's hand. Who did the shooting? It was June. So apparently now, all of a sudden, June, a former nurse, is a sharpshooter. a marksman, or I guess in her case, be a markswoman. So apparently, I guess what happened is, I think there was a throwaway line a couple of episodes ago that John, the other John, taught her how to shoot. So this all happened off camera between season 5 and season 6. It would have been nice to kind of like see that, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just like hear about it. Like, remember when Morgan showed up to Virginia or Alexandria, and then next thing you know, he started whooping everybody with a staff, and people was kind of wondering, well, how exactly he get so good with the staff? And then we get the flashback episode that's a complete episode dedicated to him, and then showing how he trained with the staff with that one dude. Yeah, they should have done that here. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, June's gonna kill Dakota. Nope, she wants to talk to her too, and then she forgives him. Um, you forgive her, but yet you shot her mama, and the mama didn't do anything to John, and you did that out of revenge. So you think you will get the revenge on the girl that actually killed your husband and caused you to go a little pissy in the head and stuff. And I remember when June did shoot Virginia, it was like a huge boss mode, and you think something was gonna come of that. Nope, because the writers don't want to do that, because the showrunners of The Walking Dead are complete idiots now. They don't know how to write no. And so they know Dakota is probably gonna shoot them, so they try to like defuse the situation. And he drops his gun, John does, and he like kicks it. But then when he kicks it, he hears kind of like a metal noise. And don't you see there's a bunker there? There's like bunkers all over this town apparently. And so they figured out Teddy's little plan. He doesn't plan on killing himself and going down with his cause with the rest of his hippie people. He's going to hide out in a bunker until all the dust clears and then go back to the sub and start dropping more bombs. So this pisses Dakota off because she believed in his little stupid little vision, and he literally brainwashed her all of one episode. And so it's kind of like that's all it took, and for her to want to now commit suicide. Now this don't make no sense. This girl, when she was living with her mama, who she thought was her sister, she would sneak out. She would like, then she helped Morgan. She saved him from dying because she knew Morgan was strong enough to kill Virginia, and she literally wanted Morgan to murder Virginia so that she can just be at peace and go wherever she wants and stuff and live her life. And so it's like now all of a sudden you want to die. And then not only that, but she gets pissed at June for shooting her mom. Why did you shoot my mom for? You wanted Morgan to literally kill her a couple of episodes ago. Do these writers, that the new ones that come in, do they not like watch previous episodes? They must not. They really can't. They just must come up with the top of their head or something new without seeing the previous episode. So that's why I think he wants to repopulate with Alicia, because this also don't make no sense. Okay, well, it makes a little bit of sense. So it's like, okay, the warhead, okay, well, the missile has like 10 warheads in it. And so either he was going to do one or two things with him and his right-hand man. Either he was going to drop one missile away from the submarine and then hide out in that little small bunker because it's too far to get back to the hotel into the bunker and where Alicia's at. So either he was going to drop one bomb, head to the bunker, wait till the dust to settle, and then head back and then drop another one. Or he was going to shoot multiple missiles and then hide out in his bunker for at least a couple of months and then head back to see Alicia and stuff. And so it's kind of like that all got squashed when Morgan threw a monkey wrench in his plans. Also, at the hotel where Alicia's at, we know she's the only one who's in that bunker. But what about the rest of his people that's like guarding her and stuff? They are gonna die. Who's gonna feed Alicia? And why exactly is she the key? Like, they never really explained that. I still think he wants to repopulate with her. So Dakota's completely distressed. and freaking out because now she feels lied to by Teddy. And it's kind of like she doesn't know who to trust or what to do. And she's acting very emotional. And once again, the actress is giving it her all. I'm very proud with this woman because, like I said before, she started off with singing. And most singers, they can't. So John decides he's going to distract Dakota because she still got the gun pointed at him, and now she's acting a little frantic, and he's getting a little bit more worried and stuff. So he talks to June about some maneuver, and he takes his gun out and he shoots a bullet in the air. This distracts Dakota because then she shoots John in like the arm, which causes June to shoot at Dakota, but she doesn't shoot her to kill her. She shoots her gun, knocking her gun out of her hand. Once again, June is now like a sharpshooter. Like, why couldn't they give at least one of those moments to John? Like, we get two sharpshooter type maneuvers, but it's with June and June only. It would have been nice to have like John do it since he taught his son, you know what I'm saying? So then Dakota's all distressed and distraught and everything like that. So then John and June, they go down in the bunker. And they just leave Dakota there. They're going to leave her to die. Once again, then John pulls a gun on her as he's going down in there. Why doesn't he just kill her to get revenge? Yes, I know, that sounds terrible. A grown people shooting a teenage girl. But here's the thing. If the writer, okay, apparently the writers don't want to see an adult kill a kid or a teen. They did it back in The Walking Dead a few times, at least twice, and I guess people was angry about that. Well, here's the thing. Stop making these teenagers bad to give the adults a reason to want to kill them. Or better yet, what they could have done is, since Chuck likes to shoot people, they could have had her shoot Dakota since they're both teenagers and stuff. But they didn't think about that. I mean, they don't have a problem with Chuck killing Nick and Chuck killing the right-hand man, so why not Dakota? And then it happened, and I couldn't believe what I saw. My eyes were in shock mode. My eyes normally don't go in shock mode unless it's like something major, and this was major. So the explosion goes off. Now it's several miles out from where they're at, but the shock wave explosion just like goes completely white, well, yellowish white, because they doing that stupid filter crap again in the show. So anyway, it goes like, you know, and then next thing you know, you see Dakota, you see the flash, and then you see Dakota's burnt ash body. Whoa. I have never seen nothing like that on TV. I have seen people's body go to ash, sure, but I've never seen it happen with the actual explosion. That was nuts. Never seen that. And I don't know how I feel about this now because, okay, this was clearly made before the war and the bombings of Jerusalem and Palestine, I think it's called. I'm not really sure. And so this happened before all that. I'm sure now that they would have known that happened, they would have never done this. But now it's like, I get it. Okay? Like, I get it. Like, you know, you can see this stuff on the news and you can hear about this stuff on the news and you can be sad that this is all going on, but you never really picture it in your actual brain until you actually see it. Now I know what soldiers of war go through when they see this crap. Now I know about the whole Pearl Harbor and is it Hiroshima? It's like poof and you're gone. Like when a nuke drops, it's like that's literally it. You know what I'm saying? Like, jeez. And then I'm just thinking, oh my god, dude, like that's freaky. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've never even saw that in a war movie before. Like, And so it reminded me something of what my teacher told me back in the 11th grade. he was an older man, so you know his dad and his grandfather had probably seen some stuff, probably been in a few wars, something like that. And he told the class, don't know why he told us this. I think, well, if he was my history teacher, we're probably doing like a history lesson about wartime. And so it's like he was telling us if something was to ever happen to the United States, if we was to ever go to war with a big country with nukes, he said that if the worst comes to worst and people start dropping nukes on people, you don't want to be outside the blast radius. You want to be point blank, dead center of it. Like you want to go fast, like the way Dakota did. Because he said the worst thing about a bomb when it comes to like nukes falling is when you're on the outside, because it's a slow death. Like there's radiation poisoning because there radiogenic particles like permeating through the air. There's the dust cloud mushroom, and you know, breathing all that toxic fumes can cause some serious like health issues down the way. It can help cause cancer and stuff like that. And not only that, but of course the blast radius and the vibrations of it and the shock wave is strong enough to literally bust you open inside and cause you to have internal bleeding and stuff. And so it's like that's, and of course, you know, because you know sound waves can like shatter things, you know. So it's like, yeah, they can like shatter things and bust your lungs, bust your blood vessels and your veins and your eye sockets and your eardrums, and you know it's just a terrible. Speaking of which, this brings me to my last stories. Now I'm gonna combine these two because they happen relative with each other. It's gonna be the woman who had that baby that Morgan met early in the beginning of his season, and of course Morgan and Grace. This is actually the start of the episode. So we see this woman and she's driving in the car and she's listening to Morgan's speech about getting out of town. Now the woman, of course, is that lady who husband was that man Morgan tried to save earlier but couldn't, and which led him to that place that he tried to make into a sanctuary. Remember, she gave birth to a son. And so like she's driving, but she gets a flat tire. So she goes out there trying to change it herself. But she didn't have a jack, so she used something else as a jack. It slips and the truck crushes her leg. And I mean it crushes her leg. Now this is the part that bugs the crap out of me. She doesn't scream. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't cry. She's not in pain. She's not in agony. She's taking it like a trooper. Now, if a giant truck fell on your leg, and you see her leg right there, it's cracked wide open. The bone is broken. You will be hollering and screaming. There's no way in the world you wouldn't. And so after that, we see her limping, crawling. We see her crawling on the ground, and she's limping up to the back of the truck because she was actually kind of close to the back of the truck anyway. And then we see her like getting some supplies, some duct tape and 2 sticks. She's gonna make a splint for her leg. Still not in agony or pain. Now, I'm thinking to myself, who carries sticks in the back of their car? But we see she's out in the wilderness area. So maybe she crawled over it, got herself a stick, broke it. But since she was so close to the back of the truck, chances are she didn't. And so she makes a splint for her leg, and now she gets her baby out the car and she takes the bloodhound and she's limping it. Now, normally when you see a person like this, whose leg is this jacked up, they have a crutch. She has no crutch. She's just limping it all on her own. And, okay, I guess they wanted to show that she's like very strong-willed and like, you know, and all this like empowerment stuff. But come on, man. You gotta make it this realistic. You gotta make it even more realistic. There's no way in the world she's gonna be able to do this on her own and in agony and pain, not show it. And for her to just walk through the street, because it's just like, there's just no possible way. It's like, this is what I don't like about fake women empowerment or fake empowerment either. Same thing with men. Like, Don from the Fast and Furious when he got shot that one time in the fourth movie. He just kept on coming. Or like when he took his foot and he stomped on the ground and like the cement caved in and the bad guy like fell to his doom. Or like when the Rock like picked up, I don't know what the world he picked up. He picked up something really huge and cinder blocking and broke it. And then like he broke his cast just by flexing his muscles. I hate that crap. Now you see the sign right there? The sign says 3 miles local coastal access. So that means she's about 3 miles out from where Morgan and them are at on the submarine thing, or a little bit further. So she's trying to head in the opposite direction to get out of town. But she realizes she's not going to make it on her broken leg. So, and this is the other part that gets on my nerves. She decides that if she's not going to make it, her child will. So she kills herself. But this is what she does first. She takes the bloodhound doll. She ties a rope to him, a rope to herself. Well, first we see a rope to like her book bag. So I thought first the doll was just going to drag the book bag with the baby inside, because that's where the baby was at. And that would have probably killed the baby. But no, I guess the writers decided, oh, this ain't going to work. So they decided to change it up. So, okay, I'll get to this part, put a pin in that later, because this is the part that's really stupid. But anyway, she kills herself. And as you can see, when she kills herself, she lays limp on the ground. So now we're at the submarine, and we see Grace just laying on top of the submarine, just in deep thought. She knows, hey, I gave it my all. It's time to die. Ain't nothing I can do. She's just like pondering, you know what I'm saying? Now, I did say before she survived that nuclear explosion blast from the facility. My bad. Actually, what it was, I think there was like a radiation leak out in the woods or something like that. And then that's what happened. And then the whole plane thing was just stupid because they were trying to save some person. I don't know who. Anyway, so she's just like, just laying there, just thinking. And she's thinking to herself, you know what? My unborn child is dead. My man's about to die. I'm about to die. So you know what? I'm going to go out the way I want to go out. So she goes down into the sub. And there she finds Morgan. Still in the tactical room where the missile launch thing is at. And for some reason, he's tapping away at all the keyboards talking about, oh, there's something I have to do. There has to be a way to stop this. He doesn't know how to work none of that equipment. He's just tapping away like an idiot. And if he really wanted somebody to find a way to stop it, why didn't he keep Teddy and his friend there? Maybe there's like a fail-safe device on the nuke that can like explode it. I don't know. I don't know nothing about nukes. I swear, they have ruined his character when they brought him on this show. He used to be cool. He is not cool no more. He's just an idiot. So him and her have a talk. And she basically tells him, you know what? Let's just Hakuna Matata it and just end it all. You know, I just want to hear my daughter's voice again and stuff like that. And Morgan agrees. Now, this is Morgan we're talking about. This is literally the man who tells people he cannot die. This is literally the man who fights to his last breath. This is the man when he wants revenge. He will walk into a room with people shooting at him, and he'll just walk past like the zombies and kill them until he gets the person he wants to kill. This is Morgan we're talking about, the survivor, the man who tracks halfway across the country just to get away from people. And now he wants to commit suicide? So then, okay, so he's about to pull the trigger, and Grace is all like, I hear her voice. And Morgan's like, hey, I hear it too. It's the baby from the lady from earlier before I was telling you about. Now, I'm not an expert in submarines. Now, they was outside, the baby and the doll, far away, because they didn't show up just quite yet. And now they're inside a submarine. How in the world are they able to hear a baby cry outside while they're inside a submarine? A submarine is pretty thick. You know, plot armor. Now let's unpin something. We see the bloodhound doll. And we see the baby. And we see, hey, it's the mom. She's zombified now. Now, Well, I didn't mention before, when she tied the rope to the dog and to the other stuff, she told the dog just to find somebody so that the baby will be able to have a nice home and stuff. That's when she tied it just to the book bag and not to herself. But the writers felt like, oh wait, we did a boo-boo, so we gotta fix that. Now we see her walking, not limping, not crawling, not nothing, just walking, and she's completely zombified. Now this is why. Now the dog found Morgan because bloodhounds have a good nose, and since Morgan is his last owner from the other dude Morgan killed, that's probably why it found him. But okay, let's see. They had at least 3 miles to get there, and they walked it in that matter of time. Right before the nuke went off. So it's kind of like, okay, there are about a million different things that could have went wrong with that. One, the dog could chew through the rope and ran off, and then they just would have been wandering around by themselves, and the baby would have starved or got eaten. Two, speaking of getting eaten, chances are the zombies would never have messed with the dog or the baby because, it did the Michonne technique where you walk alongside a walker. However, we seen in season 4 when she did that technique that if you make enough noise and enough movement, even the zombies will be like, hey, you're not dead, and then they will try to get you. So why didn't the zombies try to eat the dog and the baby too? Also, the lady killed herself because she figured, like I said before, she didn't think she had a chance and the baby would. Now, after she killed herself, now who's to say that she would never get rescued by like some people trying to leave town? And then she killed herself for no reason. It's just stupid. And not only that, but they happened to find Morgan and Grace as they about to kill themselves. Also, what if the dog didn't like wander off? What if he just stayed there and just sat down or something, Ooh, I swear. Plot armor. So Morgan is excited because he's all like, hey, we have another chance at having a baby. This must have been like a sign from Athena. Look at Grace's face. She is not happy whatsoever. She is pissed. She is not happy at all. And you think she would be like Morgan, but no. She's pissed. Because now, not only is this baby not hers and she wants her baby, but she wanted to die. And now she has to live. And it's just like, what is going to happen next season? But that's not all what pissed me off just yet. There's some more. The bomb explodes. They're far away. But here comes some dust cloud. So to avoid that, him, her, and the baby get under a huge delivery truck. And they just hide underneath the truck, the tires. And somehow it saves them. It doesn't rupture no blood vessels, their body, no nothing. Their lungs aren't permeated with dust and fumes. They're totally 100% okay. And then, they get off from that and they look at each other and the episode ends. But I'm still I'm still pissed off though. Why? Now, once again, I don't know nothing much about submarines. But if Teddy blasted those missiles off far away from where the submarine is, why didn't Morgan and his people just stay inside the submarine? Like, it should have been thick enough to be so it won't be destroyed. And I mean, yeah, if a missile actually hit the submarine, then yeah, it would explode in. But the blast radius was far, far, far away to where only the dust cloud hit. So you think they would have been safe inside the submarine instead of taking off and going on their little adventures and stuff. Now, I do remember that the inside of the sub did have radiation, but like I said before, after the nuke hits, you're gonna have radiation particles all in the air and stuff, so you're gonna catch it one way or another. So I don't understand why everybody left that spot, and I don't understand why they just didn't stay inside the sub. Now, I forgot to mention Alicia. What about Alicia? Well, we get to see the hotel where she's at when the dust cloud is going around everywhere. And we see her POV, her point of view from inside the bunker. We don't see her hand. We don't see her. We don't hear her. Why? Because the actress did not show up for this episode. And she missed 2 episodes towards the end. Why are 2 of your main stars not in the episode? I don't understand that. I'm guessing the special effects for the explosion cost way too much money, so they kind of had to like 86 some people, but they didn't want to 86 like the B team who barely shows up. So I'm guessing that's why. Oh, there's something else that pisses me off about this zombie lady. Do you see her face? Like, look at her face very closely. She's completely zombified, like modern day zombie, like you know how the show is now with the decaying face and the messed up lips and stuff like that. How? Okay, when we saw her kill herself, she put the scarf in her mouth and then she stabbed herself. Now the bomb explodes, they're far away, but here comes some dust cloud. So to avoid that, her and the baby get under a huge delivery truck. And they just hide underneath the truck, and the tires. And somehow it saves. Also, Shane in season 2. It has been established as canon as to this is what happens the moment you die and turn into a zombie in The Walking Dead. You still look human, but you're starting to, like, you know, you're just a little, like, glossed over. Here, she's completely zombified. How did she do that so fast? It's literally only been, like, I don't know how many hours a mile is when you walk. Plus, she's walking at a slow zombie pace with the doll. So it had to be a couple of hours, you know? How did she get completely zombified, turned, like, decayed face and everything, and so fast? And that thing around her mouth, is that her actual mouth and blood? Or is that the scarf? It don't look like the scarf no more. It just looks like her actual mouth and blood lips. Like, how did that happen? Oh, I completely forgot about to mention about the rabbi dude. He don't do nothing. He talks to Sarah for a little bit. That's it. Nothing important. He's just there just to be there. He's not even doing like the religious thing. He's basically just another Father Gabriel. And so I'm just like, that's it. That's what Virginia was like trying to get to, the big sub and the whole Teddy thing and his hippie people who's eating fertilized zombies and stuff and embalming them and the whole spray paint thing. This is what this whole season was about. And the whole Western theme. And then they kill off the actual Western dude only because the actor wanted to leave. And it's just kind of like, this season was kind of interesting in the beginning, and then once again, the second half, it fizzled out. And that's what happens all the time in these series. And sometimes that happens in The Walking Dead also. It's just like they don't know what to do after they come back from break. Maybe they shouldn't go on break. Maybe they should stop splitting the season up into two different completely storylines, you know? And it's just like, I don't understand these writers. There were so many weird, convenient threads that happened all in this episode. And it's like a lot of people, the cast is way too big to where people are disappearing and you don't know what happened to them. And it's just like, you know, and then this whole anthology thing, yeah, it was cool, but it was so rushed. Like, how did Daniel know that that dude was the traitor just by that one phrase? There was no pieces to the puzzle. It's just he assumed that. And then people went with it after they later on asked the dude. And it's just like people were just killing folks left and right, and people were just not wanting the revenge, and then they did want revenge, and it's just like, it don't make no sense. And then there's the lady who killed herself. How did she know she wasn't gonna be rescued? And not to mention, the big true bad guy of this season was a nuke. A group of survivors are going up against a nuke, not zombies, because zombies don't exist no more in this show. They just pop up every now and then. And even the human villains are just bizarre and everything. And it's just like, next season needs to be the last one. It's probably not, but it needs to be the last one. Too many of the people want to leave the show. People who are on the show aren't doing absolutely nothing. And it's just like, what is going on, man? This franchise used to be awesome. It used to be awesome. This is why I don't care for the Rick movies. I personally don't care what happens to Rick now. His show is about to end. Fear the Walking Dead sucks. World Beyond was stupid. I don't care about the helicopter people. There are no zombies anymore. It's just like I'm watching out of necessity only. It's like I'm hate watching it, you know? Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.